Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Cannon Master. About a week ago, I transferred across my character from Kronos over into Hyperion, and I have spent the last week or so just trying to get this character caught up to where I would like the character to be, and also trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do on this character. I basically kind of said that I was going to main this character, but there is a little bit more to it than just saying that I'm going to main this character, I'm going to play it. It is still lacking in a lot of different aspects, and I wanted to just share with you guys some of the things that I had to do to kind of catch it up to where I wanted it to be, and trying to figure out what resources to give this character, and how do I work around my existing plan already with my Hyperion characters as well. The first thing that I had to do before anything else was just simply unlocking Soul Janus. Soul Janus is pretty much the key to being able to train nowadays in modern MapleStory, so it had to be the thing that I prioritized. Thankfully, they gave us a bunch of fragments from various events and also from various compensations, so I was able to unlock level 1 Janus very easily. My goal at this point is to eventually level it up to level 10 Soul Janus so I could get a huge passive EXP bonus. The EXP passive for Soul Janus significantly jumps from level 9 to level 10, so I'll be trying to get to level 10 and then leaving it there. The next thing I have to talk about is definitely which bosses I'm going to try to attempt on this character. The last time that I touched this character, I basically only really did the bosses in C10 and various Arcane River bosses, and I really ignored pretty much every Grandest boss. I ran Sarin a few times in Kronos, and I think also Easy Carlos, but for the most part I didn't really go back into the server to do any of those bosses, unless one of my friends asked me to help out. But in this case, only a few days after transferring, one of my friends, JH, decided to party up with me with his bishop, and we decided to go for a hard Sarin run. At this point, I hadn't really done hard Sarin very many times, and for my Cannon Master, it was a pretty new experience. I did mostly Sarin on this character when it was a Corsair, so my movement on Cannon Master is not very good. I died a lot, and I took a lot of damage from most of the mechanics. I struggled reasonably in P1. I don't think that it's going to get much better anytime soon because I'm just not used to the movement on this character, but thankfully, we did make it out of P1 with relative ease, despite the fact that both of us, I'm pretty sure, lost our door. I think maybe JH even lost an additional life. Overall, it was just a bit of a messy P1. Going into P2, the first burst was so scuffed. And let me explain to you guys what exactly happened here. When I ran this boss, there was a bug that was going on where if you changed your presets, it would potentially jumble up your items in between the presets. In this particular first burst that you guys are watching, you can clearly see that I put down a Ring of Restraint, which indicates that I'm on my damage gear. But the damage just wasn't there. We did our first initial burst, including JH's Origin, and we did 10%. That is extremely low. Something has gone wrong. And I opened my inventory, and you could see there for a split second, I'm in my drop gear. But I'm not just in my drop gear. I'm in my drop gear, but somehow using my Ring of Restraint. And I'm just here fumbling around, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Thankfully, in my other preset, it did have my weapon jump items incorrectly with all of the damage gear. It was a little bit scuffed, but I realized that I just needed to toggle in between the presets multiple times to get the correct preset. Thankfully, we were able to just continue on with the run. At least not all of the presets were messed up. But it was very inconvenient, and unfortunately, our first burst was quite tragic. As you can expect, I'm playing a little bit on edge because this character I'm not very good at, and on top of that, my presets are messed up. It's a bit of a messy run, and we don't like doing long runs in Sarin. Sarin is a very rude boss when it comes to her own mechanic. You can see here, actually, I even died out to the test because I couldn't see where the short pillar was. I realized I was literally standing right on top of it, and then I jumped away from it. Whoops. I'm so sorry, JH. But then following this, we just tried to do our best here. It was already looking pretty scuffed. Only 5 minutes into the boss, and JH has died 3 times, I have died twice, we have both lost our doors. Our initial burst into P2 was very scuffed because of the preset thing, but we figured we might as well try our best to try to get the clear. Thankfully, the second time that I did my Origin burst, it was significantly better. You can actually see the damage is basically triple or quadruple of what it did in P1, and this is what should have happened. I think realistically, if we had done the proper burst the whole way through, it would have been a much shorter run. But that's okay, we kind of just tried our best here, and with 2 lives apiece, we just really needed to stay alive. We needed maybe 1 or 2 more bursts to get out after we get out of this deer phase here. And yeah, this phase is pretty annoying. Anybody who's done Sarin before will probably tell you the same thing, that this particular phase kind of sucks. You can't really do damage to her very well. She'll heal a lot afterwards, and pretty much all the mechanics are basically huge menaces to your own safety. Thankfully, by the end of this phase, both of us didn't lose any lives. We just needed to do 2 more bursts to get out and clear the boss. It was looking a little bit spicy towards the end of the run. JH dropped down to 1 life, and then almost died actually to one of the lasers. He gauged in the middle of one of the lasers, and yeah, I don't know how he survived. Maybe he got his door off, maybe his pot came up, I'm not sure, but thankfully we were able to clear on our first try, getting me my first clear on hard Sarin since transferring over, which is awesome. Bro, there's no way.
Ain't no f***ing way, bro. One try.
One try, first run. There's no way, dude. Yeah, you can take everything else, dude. I don't care.
I deserve this as well.
Just take it all, dude. Take it all.
One try.
Dude, that was first week. There's no way. What an unbelievable turn of events. The first week of hard Sarin, we managed to get the Sarin emblem. And this actually made it so that my character is only missing the total control heart in terms of getting the drop. It is pretty unreal to think that my character got such a huge sign-on bonus just for transferring across onto Hyperion. Naturally, I wanted to spend all of my money to try to get this emblem at least a usable potential. I was actually trying to save most of my money up until this point. I believe I had set a 200 bill goal for myself to be able to use on the upcoming Star Forcing events on all of my characters, but obviously Nexon had other plans. In the first place, just letting me transfer this character across and now giving me an emblem. With the 125 bill, I was pretty confident that I was able to hit 3-line attack. I think the approximate average to hitting 3-line attack on an emblem is about 51 bill or so. So I felt, you know, I should be able to reasonably get 3-line attack, even if I get a little bit unlucky. I should be able to brute force it. Or so I thought. I'm going to skip forward through all of this. What you guys are about to watch is me spending pretty much all of my money over the span of about 6 or 7 hours just simply sitting in one spot and cubing. I had a lot of comments to make along the way, but I'm just going to show you guys some of the ridiculous pots that I saw. At the very least, I saw 3 lines of magic attack multiple times. I even saw 3-line magic attack with a double prime, 13, 13, 10. That is basically the holy grail of any emblem. And for me, I didn't manage to get this once. I managed to get this twice for magic attack. It was quite the painful cubing experience, to be quite honest. And of course, the first time that I saw 3 lines of attack, it was 32, 10, 10. So I just had to re-roll it and just keep going. Again, this took me about 6 or 7 hours to just simply cube. This doesn't take into account anything I did in between. That was the time taken just to simply cube. And in hindsight, that was a lot of time just sitting there in one spot. And I'm kind of glad that I'm here now, not cubing. But even so, watching myself cube like this is really, really sad. But thankfully, I did manage to hit something that I thought was worthwhile settling on. Okay, we finally hit something that I'm happy to settle on for the time being. I really wanted to go for 3 lines of attack, but I think this has got to be it. This is the best pot I've seen the entire time. I really wanted to get the 3 lines of attack, but I think this is probably fine to keep for the time being. I will just use bright cubes from now on. That is enough. 110 bill spent. I still have the leftover bright cubes. I'm gonna roll on this because I don't have anything to lose. But man, that was so painful. This is actually the day after because I couldn't finish cubing this thing. It took me 2 days cubing for like 6 or 7 hours. Man, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest, but at least I hit something reasonable. That's good enough. Oh my god, guys. It hit. Oh my god, on the last 10 bright cubes. Oh my god, it's here. We actually hit 3-line attack. Yes. Oh my god. I was really about to just stop. I wasn't going to spend the last 10 bill because I was meant to be saving for something else, but... Oh my god, it's finally happened. It's done. Finally hit the 3-line attack. It is beautiful. That is a clean 13, 10, 10. Man, 110 bill spent. You know, honestly, 110 bill is not even that bad in the grand scheme of things. But I think it was just the case that it just took so long to click through all those cubes. I've been cubing for close to 7 hours. That is way too much time to be spending just clicking cubes. I feel like I could have been a lot more productive. I feel like a lot of us can agree on that. But hey, here we go. I cannot believe on the final 10 cubes it actually happened. I'm done. It's like 12 mil combat power gains. Oh my god, and the achievement as well. I am a full 10 set pitch boss, and I got it with the 3-line emblem. Honestly, I was happy just settling on the 13-13-30 and then maybe going for the 3-line attack another time, but I can't believe it actually happened. On the very last 10 cubes here on the Brights. It's done. My character is basically just waiting on eventually getting a turtle control. That's still quite a ways away. I cannot do Extreme Lotus on this character yet. And it's just a matter of working on the Eternals. I've done very little in terms of my Eternals, so hopefully I can get myself into a party. But man, I can relax now. After all that nonsense with the emblem, spending pretty much all of my money at that point to finally get that 3-line attack. Awesome game for the count, and also the fact that I am now 10 set pitch boss on this character. I'm sitting in a pretty good spot. There's only 2 more things that I really needed to aim for on this character in terms of its gear. One is the turtle control that I've been mentioning from Extreme Lotus, so I will be aiming to try to get to Extreme Lotus as soon as I can, so then I have a chance at that other final pitch boss. The other thing that I need to start working on is simply my Eternal gear in general. In terms of the coins needed to buy Eternal pieces, it was looking quite low. But I was given the opportunity to come along with JH to his C Carlos run. Now this opportunity doesn't come very often. It's not every day that you're able to just join a friend's run in Chaos Carlos. They have to be pretty strong, which they were, and I also had to be strong enough to be able to blue dot in it. I figured that I've already done normal Carlos before, so blue dotting should be very easy, but what I wasn't ready for was just how difficult the boss was. So I'll just let the gameplay go on in the background, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience with this boss. And to start off, I didn't have very much real experience in Carlos in general. You guys might have seen me do this boss a few times on stream, and I have mentioned that I've been doing normal Carlos on my battle mage. But between all the characters I've done these bosses on, I've never actually done the boss correctly, in the sense that it was simply a bind burst sort of boss for me the whole way through. By the time that I started doing normal Carlos, most of the party members were already strong enough for us to basically brute force through the boss. We didn't have to do any of the mechanics, we didn't have to, for the most part, dodge anything, and most importantly, we didn't need to try to stay alive and cleanse the systems. All of these words probably don't really mean much to you, and honestly, it doesn't mean very much to me either. I had to kind of figure out what I needed to do, and I needed to make sure that I didn't die out in this run. This Chaos Carlos run is not my own run, of course. I'm just being taken along because JH knew that I was trying to push this character as a main and wanted me to get the best chances to push this character faster. I really appreciate that, but man, I was not ready to run it down as fast as I did. Thankfully, in P1 Carlos, it's very straightforward. We don't really have to do too much. Most parties, I'd imagine, would just try to get out within the first couple of minutes. What I wasn't ready for was how to navigate the second phase. In the second phase, there are 4 different systems that can turn on, and you have to try to cleanse those systems by using your interact key and then shooting a projectile and aiming it. That wasn't anything new to me. Normal Carlos and easy Carlos do the same thing, but what is different in this particular run is that the cleansing of the left and right systems are significantly more important. Unlike every other Carlos run I had run at this point, we basically bound the boss, bursted into the next segment. But because it's Chaos, the HP requirement, the damage requirement is significantly higher, so we do still need to do multiple bursts to get out. And that means we need to make sure that we're all safe, and make sure that nobody dies during our burst. As a result, we are all constantly just trying to cleanse the left and right systems whenever they come up, and once they go away, we'll try to chip away at the top and bottom ones as well. The problem for me was that because I was so unfamiliar with doing the boss in this certain way, I was really bad at dodging pretty much everything. I was so worried about trying to cleanse during the fight, I often got hit by other mechanics. This is just simply my inexperience with the boss, whilst trying to not be too much of a deadweight as well. Every member here has a responsibility to cleanse the systems whenever they come up, and even more importantly for somebody like me who isn't a main damage contributor. For the most part though, the boss did run relatively smoothly. I was just a little bit on edge for most of the time because obviously I had never really tried to avoid most of these mechanics while cleansing before. I'm about to show you guys what's probably the most embarrassing death, was that this is just part of the fight. We need to make sure that we're standing inside the bubbles and we don't die during the test. And again, because I was still kind of learning how to move my character, I just straight up overjumped one of the tests and I died outside the bubble. This is really bad. This is way worse than dying in the test in any other difficulty for Carlos because, again, Chaos Carlos has a huge HP bar, and me overjumping like this, dying and then resetting a bit of his HP back, just simply put, I kind of ran it down. And it really didn't get much better. Towards the end of the fight, I was at 1 life. I lost track of where the boss was. I remember telling the guys too that they could run and clear without me. Obviously, it's not my party, but they were very nice about it actually. They were very patient with me. No one said really anything about me dying. I was very embarrassed though. Getting hit a bunch of times by all these mechanics was not exactly my best moments, but thankfully we were able to get out of the boss, narrowly escaping dying out for me. The main benefit of clearing Carlos is the fact that I'll be able to work towards getting my Eternal pieces, and Chaos Carlos is a lot more important for progression than easy or normal because rather than dropping only 1 piece, or half a piece in the case of easy Carlos, Chaos Carlos will drop 2 pieces, effectively giving me the chance to get an Eternal piece once every 5 weeks, as opposed to every 10 or 20. A big thank you to everybody in the party to let me come along, run it down, and keep everybody on their toes. And thank you to JH for organizing the run. Alright, good luck, mate.
Please. Please.
Wow.
Oh, hell no.
Unlucky.
Oh no, dude.
To finish off this video, it doesn't end with just 1 Carlos run, it ends with a second one. I'm gonna skip through this one because I'm also not exactly proud of my gameplay. I'll just show you guys the 7 different times that I died throughout the boss here. I also almost ran it down on the second run. I am still just trying to get used to the boss. I'm not very good at it. Most of my deaths were entirely my fault. Thankfully, even in the second run, with 1 life left, I did still manage to make it through. Round 2, that's actually crazy. No.
Minus 500 mil.
Again.
Just 1 bill in 2 weeks.
And with that, guys, that'll be it for today's video. I know I said I was going to end it with the Carlos run, but I just wanted to do a quick update before I close out this video, and that is I finished up my Soul Janus to level 10. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I would stop here at level 10. Just because I just did it for the passive EXP, you get 37%, which is quite a lot. And I don't think I'll be pushing past this for quite some time. I'm going to be mostly putting my points into my Hexa so I can get some more damage. That way hopefully I'll be able to reach my eventual goal of doing Extreme Lotus at some point. But this will just take some time. Thank you all again for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video so far. If you guys did, please give it a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you'd like to see more from me, please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care, guys. I'll see you all in the next one.